Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21. It's Career Mode episode 23. We're at the Tour of Utah. It's the very end of July, and we've got Roman pushing for the line right now. Final kilometer for him, and let's go full blast. And he crosses the line a full minute, or at least 59 seconds, clear of everybody else. Pluto also, who started before him. They were one spot apart in the rankings. 21st. I mean, it's not like he has a terrible time at the moment, though. There's probably only 30 or 40 riders that are done, but still, Roman with an excellent time so far. Debesay, Mulebron, Ravenko still to come, and then our leader, Martin Guerrero. Roman is a time trialist, so it is his specialty, but it's the first time where we've really seen kind of that net result of current era and really being able to push it and get the expected result. Debesay, not going to be the same case, Mulebron, Ravenko, but Martin Guerrero is pretty good in the time trial. He's not quite as strong as Roman, but he is pretty solid. So we'll see how. I think 76 to 77 is kind of your range depending on their time trialing ability. He's pretty poor in the time trial, so I definitely don't think we'll push. You can see how we're a little bit into the negative, but there's a little bit of uphill at the beginning, and then you've got this nice little downhill section which allows you to recover a bit. Ravenko pushing a little too hard. It's not balanced. You can see how he's hurting. He's struggling now. The AI just not quite handling things as well. Debesay, we're going to try to push 77 now. I think Mulebron might run out a little bit earlier, though. We'll back off to a 77. Ravenko will back off to a 75. He's having a rough day. Not a good time trialist anyway. Mulebron coming up on the finish, and he's out just before the line, but he'll just about make it there. Ravenko's the worrying one because he's still got over a full kilometer to go and totally out of energy. All right. So Roman has slipped to 5th place. It's still a good time, but he has slipped to 5th place, so he's not quite there yet. He didn't have the benefit of race day condition or anything like that. Martin Guerrero, what will he be like? Because we are definitely going to try to see if we can get a high GC position with Martin Guerrero in this race, though doing so with quick sim through a lot of the stages. So we're not going to be playing out all of the stages. In fact, it's already stage 3. We've already quick simmed a couple stages, and they were punchy stages, so there were time gaps, but Martin Guerrero does sit 5th place, 25 seconds down, while Van Aert is the favorite, I believe, for the race as a whole. He's already leading. He's already won both of the first 2 stages. He's the favorite to win today. We'll see how he fares in the biggest climbing stages, but I would think in terms of quality, he probably still has enough to beat all or most of the field. I mean, you can see at the moment in terms of the time trialing, Americans are literally in the top 15, and there's not necessarily any great time trialist Americans. There's a couple decent ones, a few decent ones, but Martin Guerrero, it's a 0 on the race day condition, but he does have a high fitness level that is benefiting him right now. I know you can't see the race day condition behind my face, but he's doing well. You can see his attributes at the bottom, though. Some +2s, some +1s, time trialing is the +2. This is full time trial today. It's a long one. It's like 35K. So that's a 77 on the time trial, 73 on the resistance for Martin Guerrero. And so far, so good. He has made it thus far. I think we need to stay on that 77, though, not push it. He's got that just a little bit of reserve energy right now. He was 29th at the first time check, 45 seconds down. There was just 4 riders after him, so you figure they've all passed that point by now. He's 15th now, so he's moving up the order. He did well in that second sector, even though he's not good in the downhill. And that was one piece. There's Van Aert. I thought Van Aert was leading the overall, but yeah, he just crossed the line. Okay. Well, he won one of the 2 stages. I thought he won both of them. Suppose not. Okay, Martin Guerrero's just hanging on. We're going to push that 78 now. He's going to get into the red for that final kilometer, but that's okay. That's okay. 10th place. 10th place, minute 21. That's not bad. There's still 4 more guys to go. Tejada, 17th. Warburton, your current leaders. Warburton's second overall, by the way. He's pushed past somebody. 6th place. Stedman is who he moved past. He's way out of it. And Shevchenko, oof, 2nd for him. Must be +5 race day condition going on there. Well, Van Aert crushes the stage comfortably ahead. Shevchenko gets on the podium, so that should keep him up in the overall. Warburton was also up there. Roman keeps a top 10 with an 8th place on the stage, and looks like we got bumped out of the top 10, but Martin Guerrero moves up a spot to 4th place now. So Shevchenko, Van Aert, Warburton on the podium at the moment. Minute 21 down to Martin Guerrero. Gianni Mascan, minute 25. Surprised he wasn't in the top 10 anywhere, and how he's now suddenly right there. He must have been just ahead of us, a couple seconds ahead of us or something. I don't know. But anyway, so far so good. Top 5. We'll see if we can hang on to that, especially with the quick sims. That's going to potentially hurt our position a little bit. We're inside 20K, and we are about to ascend on stage 6, the final climb, the biggest climb of this race. Martin Guerrero not even in the top 10 favorites, so we're going to have our work cut out for us to come out of this one still in the top 5 overall. But it's certainly not impossible, and we'll have an advantage over quite a few of those climbers who are in the top 10 favorites. But it's going to take a lot to hang on to. And you can see we got a pretty poor race day condition draw with Roman -4. He's one of our best support riders here. Debesay at -2. And that's already the base of the climb. 10K to go. I'm actually tempted, just looking at the profile, where we're at. See what happens if we can control. Pretty obvious who my better riders are today. And so this is going to make it a little easier. And DeLuna's a little too far down. Ravenko's going to go first. Gel up for both of them. Okay. And we'll go Ravenko immediately pushing and try to pull the team up along and see if we can't stay out near the front without damaging Martin Guerrero too much. It doesn't matter to me how quickly we kind of go through all the teammates, but let's hope I have not buried him. We had a little bit of open space there, and that went away quite quickly.
Again, an attack is launched. The group has to break apart.
All right, DeLuna's done, so we're going to go on to Pluto now, and then Debesay. Debesay, come on, buddy. Debesay lost ground there for a moment. That's really costing us the jockeying for position. Okay, Debesay finally finds a gap. He's going to catch up to Pluto here in just a moment, and then just continue right on past him. Pluto, stay out of the way, stay out of the way. There's Martin Guerrero. He's not in a bad place right now. 6.5K to go. Debesay is going to run out before Roman. Then Roman's only going to last for a moment, and then we're going to be on to Mullebron. Okay, 5.5K to go. On to Mullebron. Martin Guerrero will likely be solo here before the end on this, but I think this has ultimately panned out. This has not been an attempt to put us ahead and control the field, but it has been an attempt to not leave Martin Guerrero totally isolated and tired long before the top. So with 4K to go, we're a little further down than I want us to be, but Mullebron trying to help Martin Guerrero out, give him that little bit longer support. The group's getting smaller and smaller here. And this is kind of the big movement time. So Martin Guerrero, he's going to take over and go solo now. And we see the destruction of the group. Martin Guerrero very much towards the back end right now. He is a good combo of climbing and punchiness, so he's hanging in there. But look at all those Ineos riders. Jeez, EF riders everywhere. Team Rally even going really well. Coming up on Narvaez. There's Shevchenko, who wears the yellow jersey. 1K to go. Martin Guerrero pushing his way through the field. We're definitely not at the top of the order, but we're not too far down. Van Garderen takes a win. Ooh, that's a surprise. That's somebody who hasn't had a win like this in a long time. Here comes the battle for the rest of the podium. Koos just beating out Van Aert. Martin Guerrero just now coming up on the line. He'll be down the order just a little bit, but this will be a top 10 for him, just. Turpin, Warburton, Mannion, Carpenter, Garcia, Schwirble, and then Martin Guerrero right there. So, not bad to get into the top 10, considering he wasn't in the top 10 favorites. Considering the team support was on the short side today, but we did make it work on that climb. We've got one punchy stage left after this one with climbs just before the end of the stage, so we will have to take that one on as well. But it's going to be following a major event. And with the new standings out, Van Aert has moved up a bit. Warburton solidly in second place. Shevchenko drops. He's still on the podium, but only 3 seconds ahead of Martin Guerrero. And then Mannion at 2:20. Koos at 2:48. Moscon, Carpenter, Can, and Swerble rounding out the top 10. So, yes, we didn't finish in the highest position, but TJ Van Garderen, who won the stage, is still 5 minutes down overall. So we're still in a solid place right now and a real shot at keeping that top 5 and maybe cracking the podium with only 3 seconds short of Shevchenko. How is Shevchenko? 70 on the hills, 67 resistance. Just a little bit worse than what we are. So we've got a shot. He could maybe get dropped in that last one and we could maybe sneak our way onto the podium. Possibly. I told you there was one major thing happening before we do that final stage, and that is it's the signing period, August 1st. I haven't done anything with it just yet. It's just turned the day over to Koenig and UAE already 5 stars before they've even signed anyone for the season. Jumbo Visma up there as well. Ineos, not in too bad a shape. You can see 4+ stars all the way through the top 11. Almost 4 stars all the way through the 19 World Tour teams. Day 1, Rally and Delays, both looking to jump into the World Tour ranks. Meanwhile, struggling Alpecin Phoenix, potentially going backwards. And then Direct Energy. A lot of work for them to do. But you see, our development is quite evident at the moment. We are by far the highest ranked of all the Continental squads. And we're closer to World Tour status than we are to being Continental Pro. But of course, in terms of signings, we don't have access to massive upgrades. The upgrades we have were internal. It was all through development that we now suddenly have a 76, a 75, and a couple 74s on squad, giving us a 75-point index. The 75 is Egeshin. That's the big move we've seen since last time he was a 73 about a week ago. Leveled up, is now 75 overall, getting even punchier than he already was. So Egeshin has jumped from our 5th best to our 2nd best in just a week, or a week ago anyway. Porto, FC Porto, also looking to move up, and we know that there's going to be signings to come. But at solidly 3.5 stars, I think that might be enough. I think that might be enough to get us Continental Pro. We need to be top 38. That means we could afford to drop 15 positions, and we may yet sign somebody, or we may yet have another Egeshin on the cards before 2 months from now. That is going to boost our index even further. I don't think we're going to challenge World Tour status in any way, shape, or form. We don't have any big signings coming or anything like that. But I think we are headed for Continental Pro. The wonderful thing about this signing period is there really is no pressure. One, we only have a single expiring contract, and it's our worst rider by far. At 33 years of age, DeLuna has been getting worse, and kind of rapidly. He was a 64 2 or 3 months ago. Now he's a 61 overall. He's only making $2,500, and that contract's going to be gone. So wipe away $2,500, and that puts us at $63,000 a month, and our budget for next year, $116,000. So we have over $50,000 to play with in terms of budget. Now, the one thing we need to worry about is we already have a large squad, and I'm looking at signing a bunch of young riders again. That's going to give us a very large squad. It's going to be hard to get race days for these guys. It's going to be hard to impact development in that way, in that manner, if we sign a bunch of riders. But next season, we'll have half of what's here expiring. And from that half, we can re-sign the ones that are actually developing, let go the ones that are not, let go of the ones that are dragging us down a little bit. And in terms of like 24 contracts, right? From Arnautovic down, everybody below a 70. You have five of the 7. You have 5 of the 6 that are 68 and below, right? Not in the green, are expiring next year. So between Debussy, Morenzi, Grego, Ravenko, Gusinyov, we'll see pretty quickly by next season if any of them are actually developing, if any of them are actually helping us. Otherwise, all those guys are going to be gone. And so next season, we won't be re-signing as many riders. We have a huge, or we're going to have a huge squad here. And that's something we can start to shrink down and develop. And so we can get to a point where we're bringing back an Araroya. Uribe's going to probably be gone. We'll bring back Mugisha, who's developed. But at 25, I don't know how much better he's going to get. We'll see what he costs us. Re-signed Galvez. Galvez has done well, has developed for us already a couple of times. I think he was a 70 or a 69 when we signed him. He's a 72 already in one season. Or 2 seasons now. 1.5 seasons, I suppose. And then Mulebron and Faitosa probably have enough to be brought back. But that's half of those guys, if that. And many of them, depending on how much they develop next year, will still be able to be signed for fairly cheap. It's all of our 2025 guys that are leading the way. It's all the guys we signed this year. Now that we finally got through the scouting, we were able to get a little bit better rider without going crazy expensive. I mean, you look at our top end, it's all guys that are in the first year with us. 3,800, 35, 35, right? We're making minimum or not far from it. That's huge, having that. We've got an expiring in Araroya at almost 8,000. That's our highest paid guy. And right now he's only 6th best on the squad and already 27. So Araroya might not actually be coming back. We might let him go and just be able to lift that squad a bit higher than where we're at. And certainly have the Continental Pro roots in place by the end of this coming season. I'm really liking where we're at. I'm a little worried about having a massive squad next season. But like I said, that'll start to thin out in the seasons that come after that. And we'll be able to kind of get after bigger, better riders. But I don't mind having young talents on the end of the bench if we have the money to do it. And let them develop and see who actually develops and who's worth hanging on to. Because, you can see this season especially, we've got those guys that are taking off. It's good. And here's our dossiers. It's a long list. There's a couple 3.6 potential guys. There's 3 or 4 4.7 potential guys. The rest are all 5.8 potential, at least according to our scouting reports. We don't know how accurate that's going to be, but they never seem to be off by more than a couple points, meaning none of them should be below 3 on the potential, all those 5.8s, and majority of them are going to be 5.8s or maybe a couple 4s. So there's going to be a lot of potential in terms of development. And looking at the list, majority of these guys are 69 or above. All but a couple are 68 or above, so none of them are too bad off. Abner Gonzalez is the only one I worry about at all. I think the rest are going to be easy signings, cheap signings. Gonzalez, the interest only got up to 60%, so we have 5 guys in the yellow. The rest are all green, so we did pretty well in that department. And then, with Gonzalez, I don't know. It's a lot of points, but he's the best overall that we could go for at a 74. I think one advantage that he has is, adding in another nation. That's not going to. I got to stop thinking about that. That's not going to matter anymore. As we push to Continental Pro, they're not going to care. More of a Barradur than anything else, though. Stamina, hills. I mean, this is not exactly a great combo, but this is. And if it's accurate, it's a great combo. Okay, he's happy with the salary now, but that actually did not make a big impact. I'm not sure I actually want to pay this guy a lot. I mean, looking at that breakdown of attributes, if he is 5'8", okay, he's going to develop a lot, but he's already 22, so he's already hit up quite a few levels by this point. He's going to have a few less to go. He's not going to be leveling up crazy fast. I don't know if I want to pay this guy a ton of money to come in. I 10's not a massive contract by any means, but I'm not going to go crazy to get this guy signed on. So I'm only going 11.4. I don't think it's going to do the trick. I really don't. Okay, I'll go a little further. 11.9. If I don't sign him, I don't sign him. And I'm going to be okay with that because it's not going to impact whether we get Continental Pro or not. And I can get a whole bunch of 72s and 71s that are going to very quickly be 74s and get them signed for almost minimum. I don't want to get us locked into a bad contract for the next 3 years. So our next guy, 72 overall, Luke Schiess. The hill rating is almost the same. The stamina, resistance is poor. Potential's a little bit lower though. We gotta watch out. Lance Leg Week is our weakest scout as well. So all right. So after moving things around, we went from horrible first negotiations to finding what works. Luke Schiess, again, wasn't max on the interest. The money wasn't all there, but for $3,800, we get a rider almost as good, almost identical to what we had, just lower resistance, and yes, that's obviously going to have its impact, but almost 10,000 less than what it was going to cost me, and a couple years younger, and we got him signed in a not too difficult way. He had some patience, so I was able to kind of finagle the agreement to get it as favorable for us as possible. Now this is a rider I'm a bit more excited about. Same Lithuanian, 72 overall, stage racer. He's already got a little bit of a reputation. He's a little older at 23, so he'll have picked up a few levels, but high potential, good time trialing, already decent mountain at 73. The stamina resistance are okay. This is somebody that can be a good support rider or could maybe develop to be a leader for us. Signed on for 4,300. Good deal. I'm happy with that one. Okay, massive news here. I was going to come back quite soon anyway, but Debussy has been involved in a huge crash. You can see there's 11 riders back here. There wasn't quite 11 in the crash. There was about 8 or 9 riders in the crash, and then a few support riders came back to support a team leader. So we have at least one team leader back here, but also Warburton, who's one of the highest placed riders in the standings, and I want to say one of the ones who's ahead of me, second overall, I believe, just crashed out. He was in that crash as well. So 2 of the leaders were in that crash, and 1 well behind the field, and 1 out of the race. So this could be massive for us going forward. Meanwhile, there's already a lot of fatigue out here, and we need to get, I suppose, DeLuna. No, it needs to be Pluto. Pluto needs to go back and get water for this group. And let's see, how far back are these guys? They're not too far off. They might get back yet. But how much will they have left? We've got 3 Category 2s and an Alls Cat climb. Of course, they're not actually that. This is more about making this final stage important for the King of the Mountains classification.
A couple of teams have set themselves up as pacemakers for the pack.
Okay, we got to start upping our effort. We don't want to get dropped here along the way. DeLuna's going to begin his fade, and is. So let's go ahead and switch Pluto to our leader, Martin Guerrero. Ravenko is going to have to ride solo from here. DeLuna has gone out the back, joined by some others, and Debussy's group, they are not pulling it back. So Vandenberg, Groenewegen caught out. Davis, Tiberi, Shevchenko, there it is, third overall. So the second and third place rider, which means the podium now awaits. Roman and Mullebron have missed out on a move, though. So Martin Guerrero is hanging on up here alone. These guys, I didn't think they were struggling that bad. We upped the effort. I thought they were fine. They're clearly not. We need Mullebron to lead us back to the promised land.
The lead over the pack is dwindling. Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway, given that the pack has increased its speed.
We're just going to set these guys on auto. Ravenko's dropped. Okay, Mullebron, Roman, technically in contact at the moment, but only just. They're going to lose contact again here briefly. There's another crash, another rider gone down. Not an important one this time, though. Come on, Mullebron. Bring us back. Come on, we were right there. There we go. Okay, back in contact. Ooh, gotta keep working forward, though. Need to get back towards the front. 5 riders off the front, minute and a half gap for them, but it's coming down pretty quick. 65 left in the peloton, and I have a feeling all those guys off the back, like Debussy, they're not going to make it back up there, which means we suddenly have one hand anyway on a podium finish for this race. And I think it's going to be up to us to do the Astana or movie star type tactic and say screw you to those guys and not let them back. And hey, it's not like there hasn't been suitable time for them to get back on. And we have definitely not taken up the reins to do something about that as of yet. But we might hear over these final 3 climbs to make sure that those guys don't come back. Alright, Roman's still looking okay, though that certainly hurt him a bit. Mullebron, just go ahead and protect him. Make that your partner, even though Pluto is definitely not as good.
Holy cow, that was a fall! The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The
Another
Peloton
fall.
has significantly
Dang.
increased its speed.
Rough day. For some guys, anyway. Gap's way too big behind. There's no way we're going to get caught.
The front group is disorganized, and some riders are exploiting this opportunity to attack.
Okay, here we go. Already instant movement. Koish, De Gent, Lipens. Lipens is somebody I'm looking at. So here's the thing. I will show you our signings in just a little bit. Lipens is a sprinter, not a puncher. I'm surprised he's making the move, but maybe he's working for his team. I think I lack sprinters, but I'm going to do analysis of that in a little bit. We've finished our August 1st signings, and I've signed the guys that I want to sign. I have 10 points left. I don't think I want to sign the others. They're 3-6 potentials, they're 4-7 potentials, they're the 67s, the 68s. I don't want to overdo the squad, so I'm looking for one more somewhere between marquee and useful signing for us. And I think at this point that might be a sprinter, because Uribe is still kind of our lead guy. And all these ones we just signed are climbers or stage racers, which is great, by the way, but it doesn't help us with our lack of sprinting or lack of classics. And so I'm trying to look to see what's out there with the points that we have remaining. Well, anyway, it feels like something's happening here, so let's go ahead and respond. Mark Guerrero, Roman, Mullebron. I mean, order's easy. And Pluto, Gel, effort up. Here we go. You're punchy, so you want to be a little stronger. These guys are pushing pretty dang hard. Quinn, Narvaez. It's the punchers that are going, by the way. Pluto's done. We need to get on with Mullebron. Oh, Martin Guerrero just blocked Roman as he came through. That's not helpful.
The pack is increasing its work rate. Some teams can't be happy with the breakaway.
Okay, coming back at breakaway riders. Gogol, Gibbons. There's definitely some attacks happening here. Early. Mullebron, if you can. Just don't get dropped. Save it for the next climb for Roman. There you go. Save Roman and Martin Guerrero. See if this pays off. Keep this right side of the road. Roman, come on, get up there. Martin Guerrero, why did you ever even lose Roman's wheel? No reason that he should have lost Roman's wheel. There was nobody in between them. Is he just that poor of a descender? Roman's... No, they're both good. Sometimes you get a head scratcher. This timed his cornering speed. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're at 99. Mullebron, 99. And those guys just, whoop, Red Sea. And he had energy a little bit ago. I mean, that was not a permanent situation. Oh, poor Pluto. Just waiting for the climb to make a move. Now it's back together. Gel up for Roman. Gently here. We've got 2 climbs still to go. I really wanted Roman for this one. Now he's wasting so much energy to get us in the right position. Get us back in contention. But we are. I just losing my lead out a little bit. Martin Guerrero's looking fine. LeBron, gel up. He's at the very back of the group. And here we go. Base of the climb. Roman in a good place. Gogol, Narvaez.
There's a report over the radio of a rider coming off
Gaviria.
But apparently, he's back in the saddle.
Koos. That's one you gotta watch out for.
And he spurts away from the group. He's going for
Martin
victory.
Guerrero on his own.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking.
2 climbs.
The Peloton has significantly
Not
increased
1,
its speed.
2 climbs. Trying to be smart here. There you go, Jumbo Visma taking control.
10 kilometers remaining.
Heading up over the top on this one, down to 21, chasing 1. That's Narvaez. He's one of the punchiest riders here, and he's definitely having a go at it. 9K to go, and Martin Guerrero not looking too great, but he's not looking too bad. Considering we're down to 17 riders in the group, that means there's a lot of fatigue out there as riders are getting chalked off one after another. So 18 riders left in contention, and he's still got a decent amount of energy, and he's recovering some on this descent. Is going to set him up for this final go. 5K to go now. .8. I don't want all those guys coming back, so we'll take that little bit.
The riders are going through a very tough portion with
here briefly.
above 10%.
3K, climbing at our pace. He's a 75 mountain, so just doing our thing. Just doing our thing. .2K to go. Comes the big push from Robin Carpenter. There goes how is Gaviria still here? Seriously. That's the top. That's the top. Sprint it out. Sprint, sprint, sprint. Not sprinting well. It's too technical. Narvaez takes the stage. Carpenter takes second. Gaviria. Van Aert. I think we're going to have second place. Gogol, Schwerbel, and I. 5, 6, 7. We had a little separation. We'll see if there's any time gap on that or not. It's punchy, so they might give us all the same time, but our group anyway, 5th on back. Big gaps behind, though. And, yeah, I think we've moved into a podium place at least. We'll see if it's second. Van Aert's obviously won this thing. That much no doubt about that. But we beat a lot of good guys. I mean, Gino Mater, Brendan Rims, decent. Van Garderen's still decent. He's not what he used to be. Christian Eiking is decent. Moscon. Koos obviously is a great climber. Gibbons is certainly decent. So I won't say that's a bad result. But we'll see if we held that podium. That's the key thing here. Oh, same time across the board through the first 15. So not even a time loss. In which case, yes, we definitely have it. There it is. Wout van Aert with the win. Martin Guerrero second. Koos all the way up to third for Jumbo Visma. 1-3 for them on the podium. Carpenter moves up to fourth place. Moscon. Excellent. Martin Guerrero on the podium. Here's that look at next season so far. We're jumping from 21 to 28 riders already. I'm thinking about just signing one more instead of going out and getting another like 5 guys or 4 guys that we could have gotten. So that helps not overdo the size of the squad a little bit. But you can see Berlikov, Igashin, Martin Guerrero, Roman, leaders, plus another few 73s. Uribe's going to fade, but look at all those 72s we have already. I mean, dang. The squad is just getting... Look, all the way to the bottom, it's 70 plus. All the way to the bottom. Okay, here's the new faces. Look, Luka Shavicius. Thanks. Thank Luka Shavicius. It's going to be fun saying your name for the next 3 years. Isakov, Gonzalez, Albiel, Jurcevic, Mikado, Maida. And my last 2 guys that are that 5'8 potential, or at least hopefully that 5'8 potential, as long as the scouting reports are right. And that's a huge boost to the squad. I mean, like I said, we're now pushing everything is starting to hit about 70 plus. So I think in the future we're only going to sign guys that are 70 plus. Why would we go for anything less than that at the stage and squad size that we really have? In terms of what that makes the squad, though, you can see we're good in the time trial. We're good in GC. We're still punchy, but not great. The classics is tolerable, but we're really, really lacking in sprint. So sprint is the big thing that we need to grow and develop, need some work on. So that's what I'm going to try to target for that last spot and see if we can find somebody with the sprint. And Leipens is older. He's not going to be great, but he's not Uribe old. I mean, Uribe is already 34. Basically has not been fading, but has no resistance anyway. He's a bit of a sprinter. Leipens can replace that, have better resistance, is a bit younger, and can hold us down for a while. I don't know how much he's going to cost, though. But he has some interest, and that's a key for us. But we're lacking sprinters near the top. We've got Martin Pluto up and coming, 72, 71, plus resistance at 67. But we cannot, he's already 25. We cannot just sit around and wait for him to develop and be that guy, because he's only going to develop so much if he's already 25. So I think Leipens might be the short-term answer, but we've got to look for sprinters next season. That's going to do it for this one, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.